instance, we talk about children's development. As children progresses, they develop. And as they develop, it aids what is expected of them. So we want to continue on that. And so that is what we are going to look at. So with that, I want to welcome you to class again. So you are welcome. Like I said, we are going to examine the characteristics and the need of children's development. The characteristics of children and needs of children's development, excuse me. So we'll first look at who are the categories we refer to as children. Anybody between 0 age and 18 years. So according to UNESCO standards, any person under 18 years are regarded, people under 18 years are regarded as children. That is from 0 age to 18, they are regarded as children. So life of a child starts from the womb, like we all know, and immediately the child is given back to, we start to train the child how to feed, how to eat. Gradually, we train the child how to sit. When the child is still between 0 to 4, 5 months, we put him or her on our hands. And according to some culture, by 4, they will start assisting the female to sit. And by 5 months or 6, they assist the male to sit. That is, we teach them how to sit. We put them on the mat or on the floor, and then we sit behind them. So until the child, later on, with a physical development, the child will be able to sit alone. And gradually, the child will start creeping. And from there, the child will start moving around with objects. And gradually, the child will start walking. So by 12 months, the baby that we normally put in the shawl on our hands, we start walking, we start standing, and gradually we start moving. So we have developmental stages, which we have watched in our YouTube video. So I want to test our knowledge about the YouTube video. So there are, we have mentioned this developmental period in the video. We said we have infancy period, then we have the childhood period, we have early childhood, and we have the adolescent period. So which period, at what age can we refer to a child as adolescent? I want us to talk. Hello, everyone. Unmute yourself. I want to listen to your contribution. Yes. Go ahead. Someone has unmute. At what age?
The child is adolescent at the age of 12 to 18.
Adolescent at the age of 12 to 18. You start from the rear. That is an adolescent stage. Start from 12 to 18. Thank you.
18, yes. Yeah.
Yes. Unmute your microphone. Let's listen to another person. It remains 3 stages: infancy, childhood, and early childhood. Yes, any other person? I told you this is an interactive section. So I expected response. I expected that you will have gone through the upload on YouTube, and then you will have seen all this. We just come to class, we interact, and we learn. Yes, infancy is at what age? Hello?
Infancy. Infant is
I can't really pick what you are saying. The
Age
microphone. Age of what?
0 to
0 to 2 years. Good.
Yes.
0 to 2 years. So we've gotten number 1 and number 4. It remains 2 and 3 years. Quickly, so that we'll be able to have the other aspect of what we want to do today. The childhood period is at what age?
Is okay, ma. It is 0 to 3 years for infant. 2 years, okay, ma.
For childhood, excuse me, for childhood is how much? Age what for childhood? Hello? I thought somebody just said something now. I can't really pick it. Then early childhood. Early childhood is from where to where? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, we are listening.
Early childhood period is 3 to 8 years.
Yes, then 3 to 8 years.
Yes.
Then what about childhood period? It's like we are mixing the childhood period and early childhood period together. Who want to assist the class?
Excuse me, ma.
Yes. Go ahead.
Early childhood is 3 to 5 years.
Early
3
childhood.
to 8 years. The early childhood is 3 to 5 years. Why 8 should be 3 to 8? 3 to 8.
Please
But
go back.
early is
Go back to what we did. We are working according to the course material. The course material. Hello, any other person? Any other person? Any other person?
Early child is from 0 to 8 years.
But I want to take us back to that so that we will see. I want to take us to that excuse me. Can we see it? Hello, can we see it?
Yes, ma. We can see it.
We said infancy is 0 to 3 years.
Okay. Early
Childhood
is 11 years.
3 to 5 years. And early childhood is 6 to 11 years.
3 years.
Then adolescence is 12 to 18 years. That is the essence of watching the video before coming to class, because there are some things that will make reference to. Let's go back to what we were discussing. So we can now see that infancy is how many years? Hello?
0 to 3 years.
0 to 3 years.
0 to 3 years.
Yes.
Then childhood is what?
Early
Childhood is
childhood
what?
3 to 5
3
years.
to 5
years.
years. Good. 3 to 5 years. Then early childhood is what?
6 to 11 years.
6 to 11 years.
11 years.
11
Good.
years.
And the last one is how many years? Between
12 to 18 years.
12 to 18 years.
12 to 18 years. So anybody within this age is regarded as what?
Adult.
A child.
Oh, is it adult? Hello?
A child.
A child. They are regarded
Yeah.
according to UNESCO as children. Anybody, people under 0 to 18 years are children. So if you say a 17-year-old behaving funny, so don't think he's an adult yet, but children. So let's go ahead. We said Baby develop fully. Unmute your microphone, please. Everyone unmute your mic, please. So children, when they are I said unmute your microphone is some of us are not, so and I want to unmute. So please, if I mute you, don't unmute yourself. So we said baby, when they are fully developed, or when they are developing, they continue to exhibit some of what we are going to discuss. As a baby develops, it shows physical development. A baby of 3 months gradually, when you want to carry him as a baby of 3 months, when he's 1 year old, he will tell you, leave me alone. I want to walk. That is, he has exhibited some physical development. The hand will have increased, the leg will have increased, body proportion will have increased. Clothes that the child normally wear at age 3, he couldn't wear them again because he's now at 3 months. We don't wear them again because he's now 1 year old. So there is, for a child to develop, developmental stages. The child will develop physically, you will see physical changes. Then intellectually, you will see the child will be able to make use of words, he will be able to interpret some things. At times, the child will take the remote control and put off the TV, put on the TV intellectually. He has known that picking the remote, touching it and pointing it to the television will put on or put off the TV set. So intellectually, the child is developing. Then socially, the child will want to be with you, with the mother, in the family. Socially, you want to play along with other colleagues, along with other children. And emotionally, child also develop because he is able to express himself emotionally. When you take his biscuit, he will cry. When you give him biscuit, he will laugh. And so he's able to express himself emotionally. All these aspects shows us that the child is growing. And so they are developmental stages. So children exhibit these characteristics at each stage. Just like I've said, there's physical development, which shows growth in the physical dimension. There's intellectual development, which deals with the brain. The child is able to say, to speak the language of immediate environment, to express himself. The child will put things, maybe mommy put his phone on the table and the child sees it and puts the phone from the table back into mommy's bag. That is intellectual ability. He knows that this thing must not fall from the table and it is usually in mommy's bag and he'll put it there. So there is social developmental characteristics because the child relates with people around him. He will want to play with you. And then there is emotional characteristics. The child expresses his emotion. So let us unmute ourselves. What are the identified 2 characteristics exhibited by children during these developmental stages? I want you to identify characteristics that children can exhibit during physical development. What tells you that the child has developed physically? What are the things that the child can do to show that he has developed physically?
Self-feeding, ma.
Yes, the
They
child
can feed
He'll
themselves.
tell you, mommy, no, give me, I'll feed myself. Good. Child can feed himself. Yes. Any other one? Any other person?
The child begins to walk around.
Yes, he will walk around. He will run from sitting room to kitchen, from kitchen back to the toilet. He will want to wee. There are some children at age 2, they will tell you, age 3, I want to wee, I want to poo, and they will do it very well. So it means physically they are developed. Then they want to carry mommy. Okay, I'm giving the questions. I'm giving the answers. Yes, I'm listening. You have to provide the answers. What are the other physical development?
Okay. The child is seen to identify things like picking up objects,
Yes,
for example, picking up cassettes, books.
Yes. You can identify, yes, identify. Then what about intellectual development? What are the things that the child will exhibit intellectually? characteristics from intellectual development that the child can exhibit. Hello. When we say intellectual development, we are talking about the brain, the ability of the child to use the brain. So what are the intellectual characteristics that the child can exhibit? Hello? Any response? Hello?
Intellectually, the child begin to, let's say, operate a remote control.
Okay, the child. Then what about giving them items? They exhibit intellectual development, especially with numeracy. I want you to talk about that.
Yes,
Especially
counting
with
numbers.
What happens when you give them sweets or when you give them biscuits? Don't you know that they count?
They start to unwrap.
Yes, when you give them
They start
sweets,
to unwrap.
they will count four sweets, and when you ask them to give you one, those of them that are willing to give, they will give you one, and they will count the remaining, and now have 3 wrappers of sweets. So intellectual development. What about social development?
They begin to play with children around them.
Yes, they play with children, and then they also want to be in the family.
Socialize with.
Exactly, they want to socialize. At times when you tell them, stay indoor, don't go to James and play with James, what would they do? They will still sneak out and they will go and play football with James. That is social development. They want to interact. What about emotional development?
When they want you to do something for them, if you don't agree, they start crying.
They start crying.
And insisting on what they want.
And especially when that thing is disturbing you, you'll be forced to do that. Then what other ones?
Yes.
Emotionally, what other one apart from crying?
Laughing.
They laugh. They show joy. They
Yes.
express themselves when they are happy.
When you tell them stories.
And you see them laughing. They express themselves. Thank you. So let's unmute our microphone.
Thank you.
Let's mute our microphone rather. Let's mute. So let's go ahead. Good. We have given at least even more than 2 per each developmental stage. So let's quickly run through this developmental characteristics. It's a physical development start to occur from age 2. Start to occur from 0 months to age 2. It is rapid during this period between 0 age to 2. Then gradually the child moves to 3 years. Between 3 to 5 years, it slows down. But in 0 to 2 years, it is very, very, the rate is accelerated. And so at early childhood, the child begins to assume body proportion. You see the child growing. You see the head taking the shape of bigger than what it was when it was given birth to. The size, the weight increases, the muscles develop, the brain is able to count, is able to identify objects. When he sees a car, he will tell you this is a car. When you see his father, he will tell you this is my dad. So gradually, the child develops motor skills, like we have said. He feed himself, he dress himself. We want to brush his teeth. At times, we'll be struggling with a child of 2 years to help him brush his teeth because you know that he's not going to brush it properly. Then they tend to play with toys. They jump around. They play football. They hold pencil normally. And then when they see his book, they want to read, even if they are not able to, even if the book is above their level. So by age 6, the child is able to handle tools and materials more than he was able to when he was in preschool years, when he was 3, 4, 5. So by age 8, the period slows down steadily, and then the larger muscles activity increases. The child is able not only to jump around, he's able to ride a bike, he's able to jump using rope, And so physically, the child will acquire skills and is able to carry out skills. If it is a girl, we will love to assist in the house. By 6, you see some of them already washing plates. Even if it is not perfectly done, gradually they will master it. So that is the physical development characteristics that a child will exhibit. Let's go to intellectual. Intellectual development include verbal components, which is understanding words. When you tell a child, sit down, he will understand. Then there's numerical component, counting of letters, counting of numbers. When you give them items, they will count. When they took one item away out of the remaining, they will count what is left. Then there is spatial component. They see, they manipulate. They put, some of them, when you put items carelessly elsewhere, they will return them to where those items are supposed to be. When you put the remote on the seat, they know the remote is usually on the table, and they take it back to the table or to the shelf. That is intellectual development. Then there is social component, reason with problem in human relation. At times, some of them, when you are trying to relate with human component, they will give suggestions. And there is mechanical components too. They work with objects. All these are intellectual development, and they exhibit characteristics of this intellectual development. So according to Piaget identified 4 stages of intellectual development, and he divided them into sensory motor stage, which starts from 0 age to 2. There is pre-occupational stage, which is start from 2 years to 7 years. There is concrete operational stage, which is from 7 to 11 years, and there is formal operational stage, which is from 11 to 18 years. That is Piaget's categorization of intellectual development of the child. So the early childhood period is usually between 3 to 5 years, and these fall within the pre-operational period of Piaget. And this period is characterized by rapid development of language ability. That is when language ability of the child starts to develop, and ability to represent things symbolically. So the ability of the child to represent things symbolically and to pick language is usually between 3 to 5 years. And this period is called symbolic function, because the child tends to represent things with symbols, and this period is called signifies. For example, I'm sure majority of us will remember while growing up, when our parents asked us to go on an errand, we stretch forth our hand, we move our hand as if we are driving, we even accompany it with sound, and we run along to deliver that message. That is symbolic representation of speedy way to deliver our parents' message. So this is the reason why adult at times, that is symbolic function, that is representing our children's representing their ideas with symbols, at times creates difficulty between them and adults when it comes to communication. Because at times when they do some things, we see them as naughty. Meanwhile, we did not get the message they are passing across to us with the use of symbols, because that is the stage they are using symbol and symbol functions to pass across their mind. So this explains frustration on the part of children at times when they use symbol and parents are unable to interpret the symbol. You will see the child crying, and when you ask the mother what is wrong with her, don't mind her, she's naughty. It's not that she's naughty. The only thing that happens is that our idea, which she represents with a concept in his mind, is not being interpreted as expected. For example, if a child take a bottle crown and show it to the mother can interpret it as if the child wants to count and bring a whole lot of bottle top for the child to start counting. The child will start crying, because according to the child, what he wants is drink, orange juice, or soft drink, excuse me. But meanwhile, the mother interpreted this as if a child should be given task, and such a child will start crying because his symbolic function has not been met. What he is intending is not what is being interpreted. So the mother will see it as being naughty, and this shows that children at this stage represent the world in different way from how adults represent them. And that means that as adults also we have to learn along, so that what they are trying to use symbol to represent is also what we are going to interpret. So at childhood stage, children are egocentric. They are very, very self-centered. Give them biscuits, ask them to give you back that biscuit, they will deny you. They think only about themselves. They are egocentric at the childhood stage. So at this stage, children are strongly attracted to physical property of tasks and problems. They want to carry out tasks even when that task is beyond them. They want to solve problems. They want to use crayon to color. They want to interact with sizes and arrangements, and you will see them trying to solve tasks that involve all this. So children at this stage tend to focus attention on just one single object or a particular problem that attracts them most. Children at this stage, they focus on just one thing. When there are 3, 4, 5 things to do, they focus on one, and the one that attracts them, and they want to solve it. So children's attention are based on test and trial and error process. When they see something, they are working on it. They don't have much knowledge about that, so they use trial and error. And if that thing clicks, they will be so much happy. And if it doesn't, you see some of them crying. And that's why at times you see some of them battling with their bicycle. They want to ride, the bicycle is not moving. They continue to do trial and error, and when the bicycle moves, they are very happy. And when the thing refuses to move, they start crying. So representation of reality is distorted, and the problem-solving skill are at the lowest level, rudimentary level, the foundational stage. So conversation ability at times is not as developed as that of adults. They at times find words to express themselves, and that's why at times they make use of symbol. So the child also lacks operational reversibility in thought and action. They cannot reverse what they think is how they do it, and that's how they carry it out. And they don't know how to think forward and backward. They only think straight forward. And that is why at times when they do some things, we as parents will be so angry that we beat them, not knowing that at that stage is what they cannot do beyond that. And so we have to, as teachers also, we have to know this so that we assist them when we discover that they are not able to do what we expected them as, because they are still growing, they are not yet adults. The third one is social developmental characteristics. You know, we have discussed physical development, we have discussed intellectual development, and now we want to discuss social development characteristics. We human beings, God created us as a social animal, and so when a child is giving birth to in a social environment, and so the child wants to make use or use this, feel this social environment by interacting with people around him. So these social developmental characteristics are exhibited through feeling of autonomy. They want to have autonomy, and that is why at times when you want to help them do some things, they will tell you, no, I will do it myself. They want to be autonomy. Then they want to exploit the environment independently. They don't want you to guide them. They want to play in front of the compound. They don't want you to keep them inside the room always. Then they want to belong. They play together, both sexes, male and female, they play together. They don't see themselves as male or female. They see themselves as children. So they play together. And you will see girls playing football along with boys. They see themselves together. That is social development. They interact together. Then they engage in group discussion. they want to form small circle to play. They form small circle to interact, and they can be unkind to others they can be extremely sensitive to criticism. When you criticize them, they don't like it, and then they prefer you to praise them. And then when you criticize them, they try to put that blame on another thing. So, for example, when you criticize them of not washing a plate rightly, or of not riding their bicycle well, they will tell you it is the tire that is not moving. It is this tire that is not good. Mommy, remove the tire, or it is the soap that is not clean. That is why the plate is, it is the soap that is bad. That is why the plate is not clean. So, social developmental characteristics also exhibited themselves in children who may have need to force. They always want to win. They always want to be number one in what they do. And at times when you see some of them not winning, they tend to cry. So also they exhibit social development by being moody, or they don't like negative, but they don't normally have negative feelings towards others. And that is why at times when children are fighting, we as parents should not be partakers. Because if we do, a week two, we are still keeping malice with one another. These children have started playing again. Then they have high expectation of parents and adults. And then they are critical when adults mess up. They value adult interaction and may actually be more polite to adults. Then they also actively participate in group games. When it is game, they are involved. They want to show their physical energy. And that's why they engage in games like hide and seek, in games like skipping rope, in games like running, in games like playing football. They enjoy such games very well. So the last one is the emotional development characteristics. And these are enormous. Children are frequent and they express themselves in emotionally, at times through crying, by weeping. They will weep, at times they will be happy, the expression will be on their faces, they will laugh, and at times they will cry. When they need something, they use cry to get it at times. And so children do not hide their emotion, unlike adults. Adults can hide their emotion. They don't know how to hide their emotion. They express their emotion through different activities, such as crying, biting their nails, sucking their thumbs, and even some of them will find it difficult to express themselves. Children also have increased awareness about themselves. They are more sensitive to others, and they enjoy being part of the family. If you want some of them to cry, just tell them that I won't play with you. And you see them falling on the floor and crying as if you are beating them. That is to show that they want to belong, and they are sensitive to others, and they express their emotion. They worry about failure, and they don't like criticism. They don't accept failure, and when there is such, they put it on another factor. They like to place their failure on another thing. So also there is strong desire for adults, affection and attention. Children also want strong, they always ask for strong desire of affection from adults and attention. And they cooperate and help and are helpful, and they try to help others. So all the developmental characteristics and learning that we have examined, they are very, very important. So I want us to mention these developmental characteristics. So unmute yourself. What are they? Hello? What are the developmental characteristics? Unmute yourself.
Under the developmental characteristics, we have physical, we have social and emotional and intellectual.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Any other person? Any other person? She has mentioned before, but I just
and intellectual.
Hello, ma.
Start from the beginning, please. Start from the beginning, one after the other.
Physical, social, emotional, and intellectual development, ma.
Thank you so much. So let's
Physical, social, emotional, and intellectual
let's put it in the order it
development.
was, in that order. The order in which we have them.
Physical,
we have
social,
intellectual,
No.
physical, intellectual,
So one
social,
after
and
the other,
emotional.
please. One after the other, please.
physical
Okay, ma.
development,
We have
social
physical.
development, emotional development, and intellectual development.
It's not according to.
We
Okay,
have the
accordingly,
physical, accordingly, we have the physical,
According.
physical
uh,
development.
Hello,
We have
hello.
the
In a class where you are giving chorus answer, you know how we feel as teachers. So don't let us give chorus answer. Let us, somebody raise up his
yes,
hand.
okay.
Olanrewaju
yes.
Esther. Okay,
Olariwaju Esther.
you are recognized. Let's listen to Olanrewaju Esther. Okay.
Thank you, ma. We have the physical development,
Okay.
the intellectual development,
Okay.
the social developmental characteristics, and
Okay.
the emotional developmental characteristics, ma.
Good. A round of applause for all of us, because I can see a lot of us coming up with the answer. So we just asked Olanrewaju to be our representative. So good.
Thank
Well
you.
done. So we said we have examined 4 and we have mentioned them. Please kindly put your microphone off. Put it off. Mute your microphone, all of you. So we have mentioned them. We said we have the physical, we have the intellectual, we have the social, then we have the emotional. Then let us scratch this. What are children needs? What are children needs? I think they are the 4 we mentioned. Then identify 2 of their needs. Identify 2 of their needs. Yes.
Children needs care. They need care, affection.
Yes, they need attention. They need care. They need attention. They need care. They need love.
Yes, ma.
Yes, they
Yes.
want you to show love to them. They
Yes,
want
love.
companionship.
They need food.
They need what?
Food.
Food. They need food and so on. We are still going to all this data in this class. Thank you so much. So let us look at the needs of children. The needs of children. Children have needs. Well, they need have basic needs when growing. They have basic needs, and these needs can be divided into 2. They have psychological needs and they have physiological needs. They have psychological needs and they have physiological needs. So let's start. Hello, please mute your microphone, please. Some of us are still having our microphone on and is affecting the class.
Okay.
So if I have to do that, it will take me time. So Olanrewaju Esther, mute your mic. Think of again. Adebayo Esther. Adebanjo Esther, mute your mic.
Yes.
Please. I don't want any background noise coming in. Please. So let's continue. Put your mic, Esther. The noise is still coming from you. Who again? There are some other ones. Oh, thank God. So like I said there are 2. The needs of children can be divided into 2. We have the physiological one, then we have the psychological one. Let's start with the physiological one. Some of us have mentioned that there is need for food, need for rest, need for elimination of body waste, then need for good health. All these are psychological needs that must be provided for children. And these are very fundamental. For example, need for food. Food nourishes the body. And for a child to grow, he needs food. For a child to grow normally, such a child should be well fed. And it is important that we give them balanced diet. Children who are not properly fed and are sent to school may gain very little, and they may not be able to participate actively in school activities. So children need balanced diet, and that is why federal government introduced school feeding to some schools, which they expected that gradually it will go around across those schools. So also the need for activities, quiet time and rest. Students want to be active. They want to be involved. They don't want to be kept in a place. They need quiet time. They need rest. When it is time for them to sleep, they want to sleep. When it is time for them to sit down, they want to sit down. So they need plenty of activities, and they deserve enough hours of rest and sleep. Also, one of the psychological needs of children is elimination of body waste. When they want to urinate, they should be allowed. When they want to go and poo-poo, they should be allowed. So a child should not be denied body waste because they cannot control this as adults will be able to. And that is why you see some of them at age 2, they are still bedwetting because they want to eliminate the body waste, and for them to get up during the night, they are very comfortable sleeping. So during the day when they want to urinate, as teachers, allow them to go and urinate. Let them exercise their needs. Let psychological needs of these children, let them be met. Also, they need good health habits. They need good home, conducive home, neat environment in the school and at home. They want social environment. They want sound information about themselves, about the other sex, and about sex differences. They want to know how to exhibit, show themselves. They want to show that I'm a girl, and you will see them walking majestically. They want to show I'm a man, and you see them very active. And these are physiological needs of children. So let's go to psychological needs. Psychological needs of children include the need for affection. They want to have sense of belonging. They want parents or guardian, older people that will love them. They want siblings, age mates that will show them love. They don't want people that will take them for granted. They don't want people that will abuse them. So children tend to show love to those who love them, and they hate people that hate them or that threaten them or people that take advantage of them. And that is why at times when they see some of these people that are taking advantage of them, they will run away. They wouldn't want to play with them. But most of the times as parents or as teachers, we are not sensitive to these children. We even force them to go where they don't like. So they need, the children want affection, and so they must be shown love. Children like to express love. They like to demonstrate it in parental and teachers' action. They want companionship. They want to involve in conversation. They want to answer questions. They want to be involved in household chores. And that's why at times they ask you to give them something doing. Mommy, can I help you pick this? Can I help you in the kitchen? They want to show, they need affection and love. Another one is the need for belonging. Children need to be assured that they belong to a group. They want to be assured that they belong to the class. They want sense of belonging, that they are part of the class. When they notice that you are telling them that their services are not needed, they don't like it. So they don't like to be ridiculed by adults. They feel highly unacceptable when adults ridicule them. Also, they need to achieve, children need to achieve and be recognized. When they do something that is good, they want praises. So encourage them, praise them. And even when there are shortcomings, present it in such a way that they will see where they have gone wrong, not that you condemn them totally. So children also need independence. They want to be independent. They don't like you meddling up with their affairs. They want to do tasks given to them. When you ask them to bring this, they want to bring it. And they like carrying out tasks independently. That is to show that they also are growing. Then the need for status. Children grow and they develop concept of self-identity. In every home, they need to be recognized. They need that recognition also in class. So when a child is being denied this recognition, it kills their self-esteem. It kills their emotion. It makes them feel unfulfilled. So as teachers, all these needs must be met. Some of them that are expected of us in the classroom to provide for the students must be done. And those that are expected of the parents, we should also encourage the parents to do, to play their part, because all these will have effects on the academic performance in class. So having said that, let's go to importance of children's literature in meeting the need of children. What are we want to examine the importance of children's literature in meeting the needs of children. We have identified these needs. We have said they can be psychological needs. They can also be physiological needs. Then what is the role of literature, especially children's literature, in meeting these needs? So children's literatures refer to books that are meant for children. We have said that. And then there are books that are written so that children will be able to read. And so they are written to meet the needs of children. So such needs include mental health. We want them to develop their intellectual. So when they read literature books, they develop their intellectual. Security. When through literature, they are conscious of their security. Through literature, they are conscious about themselves. They don't want anybody to take them for granted. And when they see any sign of being abused because of their exposure to literature books, they will quickly tell their parents. Also, children's literature develops the need to love and be loved. You see them when they read some books, they will see love, love, love in the book, and they will see the importance of love between themselves as children and even to adults. Then they see needs to achieve, that as children you need to achieve. They see needs to know. They wanted to know. They are eager to know. They're interested in know. Then there is need for aesthetic satisfaction, beauty. When it talks to beauty, when we talk of beautification, and when you talk of decoration, aesthetic satisfaction, they see all this in their literature books. All these are very available in children's literature. So having said that, let's look at this. Pinpoint the importance or state the importance of children's literature in meeting, state the importance of children's literature in meeting the needs of children. So let's make our contribution. What are the importance of children's literature in meeting these needs? We have said children's literature help them to develop love, help to inculcate in them to appreciate achievement, to look forward towards achievement, to help them to want to know, the need for aesthetic satisfaction. It helps them to develop their mental health and security. So what is the importance of all this to children?
It helps children to be conscious of themselves.
Okay.
And it helps them allow themselves to be loved and love in return. Okay. And it helps them to grow and to open themselves to know the importance of achieving something. Example, achieving success positively, not negatively.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Olga. Any other person? Any other person? Yes? Any other person? Thank you so much for that wonderful contribution. You know, when children are exposed to all this, it develops them. They are conscious of their environment. When they see any threats, they quickly run to an adult for an assistance. That is to say that from literature point of view, they are conscious of their security. From literature, exposure to literature, they know how to love and how to express love to others. And that is when at times when they are reading some books and they see people being maltreated, you see some of them crying. You see some of them feeling, having sympathy for a character. And when the character is being taken from the lowest ebb to the highest position, you see them elated. They are happy for such a person. And when reward is being given to an honest person, you see them happy. And when an honest person and a dishonest person is being punished, you see them happy. And all these are what children's literature help children to develop. So children's literature creates a unique world in the children. It creates a unique world into which the children will go into willingly and be active. So they contain some portion of adult comments that deliver from one intelligent individual to another. So these are what literature do to children. So children's literature creates a unique world for which children will go into willingly and they will be active. So they will get some, they will from that children's literature, they will gain a lot of intelligent things from that will help them to be useful adults in the society. Also, children's literature foster reading habits in children. It helps them to develop good reading habits and good reading culture as well as reading readiness. It also provides pleasure, entertainment. When they read, you see some of them reading and laughing. You see some of them reading. And even when you want to take them away from what they are doing, they will say, "Mommy, please, just a page to finish. Let me finish. Excuse me, ma," even in the class, "Ma, I want to finish this during the break." And you see some of them not going for break because they want to read. So it provides pleasure and entertainment to them. Then it enhances educational development. A child that reads very well will have a good performance across board in his class, in his subject. So it helps them to develop good educational development. It is believed that when success in academic activities, when it is built on children's reading ability and through literature, it is usually perfect. So children's literature enhance academic development as well as children's reading ability. Apart from this, children's literature help to fulfill a child's needs for security, to love and be loved, to achieve and to know, as well as the need for esteem, the need for independence, and the need for aesthetic satisfaction. So it exposes them to even to other worlds that even before to what that they cannot go to. What do I mean? At times, some of these storybooks we talk about some other people, some other religions, some other culture. So they are exposed to these people's religion and culture through literature, and they tend to develop culture tolerance as well as religion tolerance right from youthful age. So children's literature reading enrich children's experience of complex way of woman's life. So through children's literature, they gain insight into problems and how to solve them. They gain interest into personality. They gain interest into when you have problem, you look for solution. Not that when you have problem, you kill yourself. No, it helps them to have a great sense of development that will encourage them that this life is not filled with bed of roses. And when there are problems, it is expected of human being to solve the problem and not to end his life. So also, Abubakar, please unmute yourself. So, mute yourself. So children's literature reading enrich children's experience about man as a living thing and about man, how he can cope with problems and personality development. It gives them an opportunity to share, to experience adventure, to share ideas, to read other people's ideas in books, and to develop good human relations. When I read about your culture in a literature book, when I see that culture, I'll be able to recognize it, and I will develop cultural tolerance. It also provides materials that help them to have develop a good appreciation level and understanding of other people's problems. And that is why through literature, they bear one another's problem, and you see them as brothers keepers. Also, literature develops in the child love for the country, because there are some literature books that talks about the country, love for the country, how the country can move forward. So when a child comes about across this, it teaches them love for the country. It discover literature also helps children to have ethical values, which are common to different creeds and which are very fundamental to good characteristics, to good character development in this modern world. So it exposes them to what is expected of them, moral development that is expected of them, how to behave in the society so that they will become useful adults in society. So it gives them opportunity to have fun and to escape from problems or to challenges. When they are reading, they are in the world of what they are reading, and so it takes them away from reality. So it develops worthwhile taste and permanent interest in good literature. When children's literature ability is well developed in a child, you will see that it will span across the life of the child. So throughout the life, you see the child will be engaging in good literature reading. And so children's literature contribute positively to mental health of the child. It also helps the child to uphold societal norms as well as the culture, because by reading, the child will have been exposed to culture of the where he is, and he will oppose such culture and norms. So to round it up, we'll see that literature at different stages affect children's interests and enthusiasm. This in turn affect their readiness to cooperate, their readiness to education, their readiness to read. It also affects their readiness to power of memory, their willingness to be involved, their willingness to be part of the society. Excuse me. Their willingness to contribute their quota to the class, to the society, to the family, and the possibility of finding significance in what they have read or in what they have been exposed to in literature angle, from literature point of view. So having said that, any question? Let's unmute ourselves if we have question. If we don't have, let's keep the microphone the way it is. So if you have question, unmute yourself and ask your question. So any question? Any question? I said if you don't have a question, please kindly put off your microphone, mute your microphone. Any question? Does that mean there is none? Any question? Okay, let everybody unmute and let me listen from response from you. Any question?
No, ma.
Okay, thank you. Any question?
No,
Abubakar,
ma.
thank you. Patrick, any question?
No, ma.
Okay. So please, like I said at the beginning of the class, endeavor to check what we have before the online class. Then go to the Zoom and attempt what we have there for you. It will really help you with this class. So with this, we have come to the end of the class. I'm going to say bye-bye to everyone else.
Bye, ma. Thank you, ma.
Bye bye, ma.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma.